Hari Om Tat Sat. Mandukya Upanishad. Today, we would like to do what is called Purnavati, the concluding part.
भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनुभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
अमात्रश्चतुर्थो व्यवहार्यः प्रपञ्चोपशमः शिवोऽद्वैत एवमोङ्कार आत्मैव संविशत्यात्मनात्मानं य एवं वेद य एवं वेद।
What a beautiful and concluding sloka. In the beginning, we had learned that just the Omkar itself, in the beginning of the Shantipat, had we have known, then nothing further really needs to be learned. If that is not sufficient, then we learn the Shantipat. If that is not sufficient, then we learn the entire Upanishad, which is of 12 sloka. And now, understanding every word whereby what he is saying. Amatra, matra, a part or a section of. So this is amatra, meaning it is indivisible. Amatra, chaturtha, chaturtha, the fourth one that we have studied. Avyavharya, avyavharya, which cannot take part into any transaction. Transaction means it will become something or it will execute something. So to say, it does not take part into anything. And this avyavharya, it is so important to understand. Then prapancha, upasama, prapancha. You can say, because of the interaction, because of not knowing what is that gold, what is that chaturtha, we create our own universes. And if we have to relate this world with, you can say, you can call it a necklace, that is your view. You can call it a ring, your view. You can call it bangles, your view. This is the universe you have created. Prapancha upasamaha. Shivoham. Shivaha. Shiva, the auspicious one, Mangal. Advaitaha. Non-dual. And we'll come to it in a minute about the word Advaita. And what is that Advaita? There is no other. And so all of those upper words fit into Advaita. Evam Omkara. Thus, that it is Omkar that we study throughout. Atma Eva. That is the Atma. Samvitsa Yatmana Atmana. So the word Samvitsa enters and merges. What really meant, we'll come to it in a minute and I explain you. The one who is coming to the realization, that is Atma Eva, Omkar Atma Eva, one which is Omkar, that is Atma, and that is what we are. Atma, Atmana, true self, when you come to realize that this is what you are, and that is said to have known Veda, known Upanishad, known gold, known Brahman. So let me review the translation. That which has no part, that's what we say amatra. The soundless, indivisible, the incomprehensible, which amatra includes all of those, beyond all senses, and the cessation of all phenomena, all interactions, taking different form, different shape. So you can say my universe, your universe, second universe. None of those phenomena take place. Shivam, all blissful. Advaita, non-dual, Om. Now understand the half of the sloka. That is the fourth, Turiya. And verily, it is the same as Atman. So truly, that Omkar, which is same as Atman, the individual self, you may call it, he who knows this merges his self in the Supreme Self. He who knows this, he more than the knows, the one who realizes it, merges into the Supreme Self. That is the state of self-realization, what we usually refer to. The individual in the total. Now, individual in the total meaning a drop of water realizing that I am the ocean. So the Atman realizes oneself to be the Brahman. And who that one is, that when we know, when we realize that we are amatra, it is indivisible, unknowable, and incomprehensible. Incomprehensible, this part is also very essential. Incomprehensible part is so essential, and that will be bothering us all the sadhaka throughout. And why so? Because our logical mind has not left us. Not only not left us, but we do not recognize that our logical mind will be arguing in comparison with all the objects. We want to understand with our mind. And we have had various examples. And one of the examples was to look for the type of the batteries, type of the cells in a battery or in the flashlight in absolute darkness. You just cannot do it because you want to know about the cells which powers the battery, which produces the light. With that light, you are seeing everything. So how could you ever know? In other words, it is incomprehensible. Comprehension has a slight different meaning, but here we are learning it to be agaya, unknowable. And one of the very simple reasons we can get to it is you yourself are that, and that's what you are looking for. And similar one, the example was, two beautiful examples were given in the Vedic term, in the Upanishadic term, that the 10 people went out on a picnic or somewhere, and finally, while returning, they just wanted to make sure that we are 10. So the person who was counting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. Oh, we are missing one. Then the second one says, okay, Swamiji, you don't know how to count. So he started counting 1, blah, 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 9. Oh boy, we are 9. Because what? He is missing himself. So in this, the whole universe we are trying to study, granted you do enjoy that part, but then you should know that what is whole universe is prapancha. This is the universe, and that prapancha will quieten down or will die down as soon as you come to know that I am the one. I am Omkar. I am no different from Brahman, and Brahman, all that is all pervading reality. Again, the word reality need to be understood very well, which is permanent, which is beyond time and beyond space. And that reality is bliss, Ananda. So, coming to this understanding or this realization is so important. And for this, I will once again review the path of our sadhana as to what really needs to be done. Expect not us to be that realized state right away. Okay? And may never happen. But we are progressively, we are unfolding the recognition one after another, layers of ignorance. And some of the Swamis, they say it is peeling off the layers of onion. Layers of onion meaning there must be something, there must be something. And we say, oh, this is not it. Oh, this is not it. And finally, when everybody, all the 10 people started counting 1 through 9, not recognizing the 10th one, then a wise man comes, and the wise man counts all the 10 of you. And finally he says, because you were not counting yourself. When you were not counting yourself, and when that was realized by everyone, then the prapancha, the universe ceases. you are the one. And on this one, it may appear I may take a little detour, but it's not detour. It is equally very important sloka, which is also very much dear to me. In the beginning, I had mentioned that Mandukya Upanishad has 12 slokas, but Gaudapada has written, or really speaking, nobody knows who has written, but some scholars say that Gaudapada has written, to explain this 12 sloka, close to 250 slokas. And of that, I think 46 or 48 sloka addresses our every sadhaka's difficulty. And when I say every, saint and seers are not excluded, mind you. What is that? So let me take you to that sloka. This is the sloka, sloka 44. Laye sambodhaye chittam vikshiptam samaye punah shakashayam vijaniyat sampraptam na chalayet. What it says, laya, in the state of laya means dozing off or sleepy or dreaming, laya. Laya sambodhaya chittam. Sambodhaya, what? Addressing. Chittam, mind. So when your mind goes to sleep, sambodhaya, address it very lovingly and says, uh-oh, you're sleeping now? It's not the time to sleep. So this is laya sambodhaya chittam vikshiptam. Vikshipta, agitated, engaged in other activity. And what is the vikshipta? Every single time we know that we want to meditate, but our mind goes somewhere else. And all of us, we have this complaint that my thought do not stop. So this is not only yours and mine problem. This was Shankaracharya's, Adi Shankaracharya I'm talking about. His guru's guru have addressed this element. And he is so much helping us. Vikshiptam samaye punaha. Samaye punaha. Sama means to pacify, calm your mind down. And one way or other, pacify. Yeah. You know the word pacify? Almost mothers and fathers know when the child cries, you give them the pacifier. So this is how do you pacify the mind? That what we call guided meditation. Shakashayam vijaniyat sampraptam nacharya. And then it says in between what? Mind, let me get out of it. Or let me read this first. It's the translation and we'll talk. In the state of sleep, we should again awaken the mind. When agitated, vikshita, we should pacify it. In between meaning, okay, now it is not sleeping, or now it is not wandering. We should understand that the mind is full of desire, potent desire. We should not even, because so far as the desire is there, unmanifested, but full of potency. We have not had yet the time to come to fruition, or fructify, if I may call it, fructify the old karmas. It is still there. But even if you get a fraction of a second, if the mind has reached the state of perfect equilibrium, then do not disturb it again. Just be there. In other words, how often we have learned that you can chant Om we can chant Om, but it's not keep on chanting Om, even for the split of a second. You don't feel like chanting. That's the moment to be grabbed and just be there. But quite often, our active mind will say, oh, okay, I counted. I did 11 times Om. Then to do what? Nothing. That equilibrium, that peaceful state, this profound state, that is the one slowly learned and acquired and appreciated. You come to know that this mind during those moments is not working or is in the witness state. And that witness state is the state of self, is the awareness of the goal, is the awareness of your own self. And your own self later on says, that is the Brahman. So Atman, remember the word Atman may be treated as a wrong word because say your Atma, Atman, all right? But we have to use some word to understand and explain to us as to what is myself and yourself, because we are alive. And once in a while, this type of thought will bother us. But sadhaka, one must never use this kind of word. My Atma and your Atma, myself and yourself. Meaning you are affirming your mental impression that your Atma is separate from Brahman or is separate from somebody else's Atma. That means what? Divisible. That means what? Matra. It's not amatra. And that means what? It is Dvaita. That is something else. So myself may die, but you know, that Guru's self will not die. Nobody's self dies. It's just the body transforms. It just, from the necklace, it turns into bangle or any other form. Gold remains gold. That part is so essential. Now, this pretty much summarizes it. But why this Mandukya Upanishad is so important? Because it takes our entire life and it takes us beyond. It takes our life and into the 3 stages. And each of these stages reminds us as to why we fail to realize. We fail to realize that we are Om. Because we are, very important point, understand, we are going for a-uma to a-uma to a-uma. What we are really missing is the silence part. What we are really missing is from the sleep state to vikshepa state. And the vikshepa state, it is awake state as well as sleep state. In both the state, we are vikshepa. But then this Gaudapada says that when the mind is in equilibrium, just be there, just enjoy it. But that is where we all fail. So, such a powerful, that's why no wonder I like this sloka, the sloka number 48 or 88. This is from Mandukya Upanishad Karika. Okay. So remember, laye sambodhaye chittam vikshiptam samaye punaha. So people say, should I meditate 10 minutes or 15 minutes? But Chandrasekhar meditates 1 hour. It has nothing to do, my friend. Whenever you are passing through those 3 stages, Jagruta Sthiti, Swapna Sthiti, and Susupti, that is deep sleep state. If you are alert, and if you remind yourself and observe, just observe the mind, that right now I start speaking on it, on Mandukya Upanishad. Who is speaking? Who am I? Who powers me? And that I do not have to talk to all of you, but internally I have to be aware and I have to be grateful, aware of that play, you can call it. This is playing is my universe. And likewise, I can be asleep. And when I'm asleep, in my dream world, I may be doing something. Today being a good day, I might have gone to Laguna Beach. And when I am at the Laguna Beach, again, my mind will have 1,000 other thoughts. But when I am at Laguna Beach and think that it is my dream, at that time, if you become aware, if your sleep slightly disturbs, this I'm talking part of the sadhana, to not just open your eyes and look into your phone, whether you got any WhatsApp messages or not. Just be aware and remind yourself, uh-oh, I am not at the beach. I don't feel any sand, no water, no sound of the waves. My head is on my pillow and I am in the bed. Be aware of and pacify your mind. Come back to what? Come back to gold. What? Come back to that silence. What? It is not awake state, so all has already been taken care. And the deep state of silence, which appears almost like a deep sleep, that is also not it. So mind is not there, but you are in the state, that is dream state. But that you take out and say, that is not I am. So then what happens? Was not there. Ma not there. Who was there, but you are becoming aware and you are going beyond that. So I is not there, who is not there, my is not there. So where you are, in the state of silence, in the state of shanti, in the state of steadiness. What is steadiness? Because you will always have one of the three stages. Uma, Jagruta sthiti, dream state, and deep sleep state. There is no fourth state here. We will always be wandering throughout these three stages. First is easier, Jagruta sthiti. You go and do whatever you have to do. When I say we do whatever we need to do. And I will explain what I meant by whatever. Because a lot of time we think that how can I make a tea for you? This is the time for my meditation. Really? You carry out your worldly duty, but with an awareness that it is the body which is performing. You are just a witness. You are just taking part into non-reactivity. Vikshiktam samaye puna. Anytime the disturbance sets in, you become aware of. So this is how, by remaining in of the Omkara, you are reminding yourself of the inner silence. And this, yesterday in Wednesday's class, Bindu was inquiring about the inner silence. And she started understanding. And she says that after 30, 40 years, and I said 30, 40 years is nothing. We have been undergoing this trend for lives together. And this kind of awareness need to be learned and executed. So understand, how could we associate time to the meditation for the 5 minutes or half hour? And whereby, whatever time you are allocating, that is, I don't say that it's bad, but this is at the deeper inner level that time function is an illusion. But still it is necessary because our mind is running at 120 miles per hour. When it is running so fast, it takes quite a bit of repeated effort to pacify the mind and bring it back. And when we bring back, we are bringing just a part of the mind, whereby agitation still continues, but it is not as much agitation as it was when we were not sitting down, when we were not chanting Om, when we were having our eyes open, and when we had the TV on, we had our cell phone on, we were checking email, we were having WhatsApp messages. So at least during that time, half hour or 15 minutes or 1 hour, Whatever you're doing, you are allowing, listen to the word, you are allowing relative silence to take place. But that is not meditation. So in sounding ma, and not saying anything and enjoying the makara, drifting into, dissolving into, or becoming one with the state of silence, that we need to aim for. So how shall we be chanting this? You listen to the Omkar tape which was played, and that is somebody else's chanting. You may not be in a position to be that fit with your lungs and others so that you can lengthen Om to that level. No. Idea is to allow the second beginning of Om to be delayed, that's all. So wherever, whichever time element you end your Omkar, and when you begin the next one, leave that time aside and just observe. So the relative silence between end of Makara and beginning of Akara or Okara, if there is anything, pardon me. Let's not get lost into what is right and what is wrong, and let's not get into the laws of the Sandhis and Sanskrit and whatnot. But if we can take these three stages, U and Ma, relate that to actual or actuality of our life. Anytime, whatever you do, whether you are examining your patient, or you are cooking, or you are going on vacation, whatever you're doing with your eyes closed, eyes open, and as much time allows and you become awake, really awake, to be alerted about akara. And what I mean by akara, that hey, you are in the Jagruta sthiti. But really speaking, it is not Jagruta sthiti because we are not aware, awake, aware of, and as a result, we are not awake. So the self exists, but we are not aware. So really speaking, even though it is called Jagruta sthiti, but in the worldly affair, in the prapancha state, in our mental awareness of the objective world. So truly speaking, Jagruta sthiti is not Jagruta sthiti. So during the Jagruta sthiti, keep on practicing, keep on becoming aware of, and whatever you are doing, you may be eating, you may be gardening, you may be doing any activity using your mind. That is akara state. That is prapancha state. That is vikshepa state, vikshepa agitation. Your mind is constantly under judgmental state, under reactive state. That is what need to be observed. This is sadhana, mind you. And that is where we are often warned that we do not chant God's name. Now you understand why. Because chanting of the God's name is also an activity when you are awake. Whereby I'm not saying be atheist or theist. Those are all words of the PhD people. But over here, moment you chant or say Krishna or Jesus Christ, let's talk about Krishna first, then you will have in your mind a picture that you have created or somebody else has created, and from that creation you created in your mind that it has to have the feather, peacock feather. It has to have a nice chain. It has to have a flute. It has to have a nice yellow dhoti. That is Krishna. That's what the image you have. And that image once again comes back. But that image itself is an object. You have created that image. So, and likewise, if a Christian fellow thinks of some sermon from Bible or thinks of Christ, you can think of Christ carrying the crown, or you may get a picture of a cross and you will make sure that are you wearing the diamond-studded cross to qualify you to be a Christian. Mind you, these are all limitations. Christ is Christ that you have created. Krishna is Krishna that you have created. Brahman is neither Christ, nor Buddha, nor Rama, nor Christ, or any other form of divine figure. And I do recognize with utmost heavy gratitude, but so far as to remain Christian, so far as you remain Hindu or any other thread Buddhi, that again is limitation. Brahman is amatra, indivisible. And Upanishad and Ved takes you to that level where mind's dictionary does not define. That is when it says ageya, unknowable. And that's why silence. All the alphabet, no matter which language, originates from the silence. And Mandukya is emphasizing that all the dictionaries be dissolved into silence. So silence, silence, silence. Such a powerful, this 12 sloka Upanishad. This is just the introduction, dear friend. But the true learning of Mandukya Upanishad will begin when you go beyond all ism. When you go all beyond organized religion. when you go beyond who, and ma. So you make use of Om and go beyond Om. That is where in all the Upanishad, in Bhagavad Gita and all, Krishna, again, when I say Krishna, I'm talking about the Krishna consciousness. I'm not talking about Krishna, the figure that we have created. Brahman, you can call it. And that too, again, is a dictionary word. But beyond all dictionaries, all formation of the sound need to be dissolved into this. And now a little warning, dear friends. When I said all those sounds need to be dissolved into it is not that the spectrum of the sound need to be dissolved. It's the awareness. Once you be aware of doing all the activities that you do, and internally aware of your true identity. Mind you, Amata, every word is so powerful. And when you become aware of doing what you are doing, living in this world, still not living in this world, doing everything you do. If you are a physician, anesthesiologist, keep doing it. But you do not take anesthesia, whereby it need be, and you're to undergo surgery, do that. But when I say you are taking anesthesia because the true condition you are not aware of, you are not really Jagruta. You are either dreaming or, more than likely, I would say dreaming. Because even though your eyes are open and you are injecting anesthesia, or whichever way you are administrating, but are you aware as to how you could administer the anesthesia? That awareness will take you not from, it will take you from straight into the silence. And now coming to a little bit about the dream state in your world, La La Land, which will be very hard, let me tell you. But that doesn't mean you cannot do it. Once you have mastered Yoga Nidra, means you are sleeping, but you are not sleeping. Often, some of the people say it's a sleepless sleep. What do they mean by sleepless and still call it a sleep? Sleepless means you are not conscious of. And sleep, second sleep, meaning you're relaxing. Your body is resting. Your mind is also resting. But you are aware of the self. Learn, please understand the beauty of silence. Beauty, each beauty of beauty of beauty of ma, and then beyond. Om. And having been highly tempted, knowing today is this class, try not to bombard somebody else's, your partner, your children, your parents with this, because they will not understand. First of all, we have not understood. How could we even explain to the other? And many a time, dear friends, and this is truth I'm telling you, when I am getting to a relative state of silence, I scold myself and say, who are you to even talk about the silence? Who am I? I could not even understand, why am I talking about the silence? Is it something to be talked about? And that's why, even when you go for a walk, people want to listen to the nice music, but they want to listen to the Omkar, because Swamiji said that Uma is so good. Yes. So you are letting that words dictate. And if that is not it, then we'll be listening to some sermons. We'll be chanting some sloka of Bhagavad Gita or Hanuman Chalisa or whatever. I'm not saying don't do, please understand this. But being astic, be Gnostic. Go beyond that. And definitely beyond all the categories of organized religions. In the name of organized religion, whatever that goes on in the modern world, I do not want to even think of it. But at least what I can do today and now. Tomorrow I may not be here, but at least today what I can do. So dear friend, this is sadhana, understanding the mind and going beyond the mind. Chant Om, but don't chant Om. Study Bhagavad Gita, but don't study. Read Bible, but don't read. Speak Om, but be silent. What more I can say? I'm being so disqualified. But this is part of my sadhana. I'm trying to understand what is the silence. Let us have once more Shantipat. And toward the end, we'll have Purnamada and. No wonder Yogananda Paramahamsa said, stillness is the altar of divinity. Stillness. Even to think of something, stillness of the mind is disturbed. Stillness. unshakability, no prapancha, no matra, no ashivam, no duality. That is how the Shantipat ends. I don't know how much grateful I am to all of you. You allow me to share this joy.
भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवा भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनुभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति